Today, I'm going to talk about the 3 habits of the ascended male, the top 3 habits. What is the ascended male? Let me tell you what it is not. The ascended male is not the rich male. It is not the alpha man. It is not the guy who gets all the bitches. The ascended male is more than that. It is a new standard. The ascended male means the norm and the traditions of society today are not enough to become your highest and best self. The ascended male means we are creating a new standard of what a man is. It is not a man who just watches sports and has a hot wife and kids and goes to church every Sunday. While those things, besides the sports part, those other things are good. It's not enough to just. It's not enough for me. I'm gonna say that. Everybody has their own standards. You have your gurus out there. They live a certain way. Some of them, are a little bit more eccentric. Some of them are a little bit more normies. I don't think any of them out there are really the standard. That's why I have to be the one to set it. So that's a lesson right there. If you don't see what you want as far as like your prototypical, your role model of what a man should be, well, guess what? You have to step into that role, don't you? And so that is what I've been forced to do, because there's no guy out there, there's no man out there who has it all to the degree that I want. There are people out there who espouse being all you can be and having it all, right? Guys like Andy Elliott, he talks about having it all and, kick-ass health, and your relationship is awesome, and you got tons of money, your spirituality is on point, your fitness is on point. But I don't look up to him in terms of like, that's not the type of wife that I want. He's not necessarily ascended to knowing certain things that I'm about to talk about today. And so let me just get right into it. What are the top 3 habits of the ascended male as I see it? So habit number 1 is foundational. And this is something that guys like Andy Elliott don't talk about. And that's called semen retention. And semen retention is kind of like NoFap, except it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more all-encompassing. Semen retention, it goes to the foundational knowledge that if you ejaculate, if you release your seed, you are killing yourself. Let's just be real. You're killing yourself slowly. You are letting go of your life force energy. See, your semen, your seed is your life force energy. It is powerful enough to create new life. That's how powerful it is. And so when you let go of it, especially frivolously, but in any case, you're letting go of it, you are releasing your power. You are diminishing yourself. And so, we have some really crazy beliefs that just don't make any sense. And they kind of make sense if you're really like surface level about it. But, some people think, well, if you keep it in you, like it's going to fill up like a reservoir and it's going to overflow and you're going to like turn crazy or something. Yeah. You're going to turn crazy awesome. You're going to turn crazy like a freaking savage. You're going to turn crazy in terms of like your strength, your power, your voice, your ability to just handle things that happen in front of you, handle people, to be as aggressive as you need to in hard situations. You're going to be like crazy manly, you're going to be crazy masculine, but you're not going to, nothing, your like balls aren't going to explode. Like, that's not going to happen. And 8 months, that's how long I've been doing semen retention. I actually, because I am accountable to everything I do every single day, I make accountability logs where I write what I do every single day. I can go back and look at the last time I watched porn and the last time I masturbated. And that was 8 months ago. And so I kept track of it. I'm not keeping track of it, like I'm not counting the days down. Like, I've tried that route. It is too much focusing on what you don't want, in my opinion. I'd rather you focus on your new identity. See, in order to do something like semen retention for the long term, there has to be identity level change. That means you have to tell yourself, I'm not the type of person who does that anymore. I'm not the type of person who masturbates. I'm not the type of person who watches porn. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm not one of those people. And you have to change your identity. See, what I realized, and this was the last time that I fell into the trap, the last time that I had a moment of weakness and I watched porn and I masturbated. And the last time I wrote to myself, man is losing to the porn industry. See, porn is more accessible than clean drinking water. Think about that. You have endless amounts of free porn. Crazy that anybody would even buy it, but endless hours, millions of hours of free content that is pornographic in nature. Endless amounts. If you try to fight it, you couldn't beat it. It's like hordes, an army, a porn army. Literally, you're fighting against that. You're never going to win. You just have to basically convert over to a new path, right? Just basically a path where that stuff doesn't even exist. That's not even part of your reality anymore, okay? Because that is a losing battle. Man is losing to the porn industry. There's endless amounts of that content. It will never end. There's always new content too. There's always new porn. And so you just have to understand that is a different, like you have to jump from that old world into a new world. And that's it. And I realized, let's go to the root cause level. Why was I watching it? Well, I, like many guys, I was watching it to uncoil, to relax, to unwind, right? Especially if you're a hard worker, you're working hard, and you get like coiled up inside. You get tight. You get, a little bit overly tight, a little bit overly overworked. It's the best way I can put it. And then you want to release. You want to let go. You want to unwind. And you've probably been doing this habit of masturbating probably your whole life. Probably since, for me, it was 14 years old, right? And that's a horrible time, by the way, to start doing that, because that's right around puberty. And that's definitely affected my growth as a man. And that is affecting the growth of many young men. And so that's why this problem is such an important one to talk about, is because not only is it making you less of a man now, but it's actually stunted your growth as a man up until this point. Think about that. Do you like that? Do you like the fact that you stunted your own growth because you fell into a trap that society said was totally normal and almost promoted it to the extent that almost every single male in America is watching porn and masturbating and being degenerate? Do you like that? Well, I had to think about that for myself, and I decided, no, I don't like that at all. In fact, I think it's like the worst thing ever. I think it's freaking horrible. And I think I'm going to be the one to change it. And so I went on the semen retention path. And, there were maybe 4 or 5 times that I thought about watching porn and just whatever. I found a way to not do it. I found a way to convert that attention of, okay, I have this attention to go to this old habit, this old desire, and I just need to convert it to something else. So anything you can do to convert it to something else. Typically that involved movement, that involved whatever I was doing. If I was on my computer and I was watching, or if I was thinking about watching porn because of maybe something I saw in a video or whatever, I realized, okay, like the programming is coming in. I have to pattern interrupt this. I have to walk out of my room. I have to get off the computer. I have to go do something. I have to, anything I can do to get away from that moment. That's what I did. And I was successful in not doing that. Now let's talk about another thing, wet dreams, right? It is true. You will have more wet dreams. And I don't consider having a wet dream as like you fell off. I think that's totally natural. Now, did it happen all the time? No. We're talking about maybe 4 times in the last 8 months, right? That's basically like every 2 months, which is not bad. Not bad at all. So you don't have to worry about that. People think like, oh, well, you're going to have wet dreams. So is it even like worth doing? Because like people think it's pretty much the same thing to have a wet dream and then go and like do it yourself, right? To go masturbate, to go automatically make it happen, or manually make it happen, whatever you want to say. That's not the same thing, okay? Because one is natural, and also I've had it to where like I actually, there's something called lucid dreaming where you go into your dream, like you're actually controlling yourself in your dream. It's not necessarily the case that you have to have a wet dream. In fact, I remember specifically a time where I stopped myself from having a wet dream because I became lucid in that moment and I decided, no, I don't want to ejaculate right now. I want to retain my seed. And so it is possible to just go into your dream and stop yourself from having a wet dream. That is possible. I've done it. That's not always going to happen, but I say that to let you know that you don't have to use the whole wet dream thing as an excuse to fall off, right? Don't just masturbate one day just because you think, oh, well, I'm going to have a wet dream anyway, so I might as well let one go, right? Don't do that. I recommend not doing that. I recommend you go as far as you can go. And if it happens, it happens. And the next day, you're back on the horse. And I don't even think that you fell off. It's just a natural thing that happens. And so I have a streak of 8 months, about 4 wet dreams in there. And, get rid of all pornographic content. Get rid of following girls on Instagram who are you're only following because you think they're hot. That is actually one of the number one things that's going to get you to go back to your old habits. and you have to prevent, you basically have to, it's like childproofing your house, right? You have to put certain things in place to make sure that you don't, well, you have to put certain things in place to prevent the things that you know for sure are going to make you revert. And so, for sure, if you're just looking at, these hoes on Instagram, they got their like bikini pics, they're half naked, they got their ass showing everywhere. Look, you look at photos like that, just a few photos is enough to get you to go back to those old ways, okay? There's a reason why they say man is weak of the flesh. Man is a weak of the flesh. That's biblical. There's a reason why they say that. It's because men are weak of the flesh. It is basically like programmed in us to be weak of the flesh. And so that's why we have to protect our eyes. That's why we have to protect our mind. That's why we have to put certain mechanisms in place to prevent us from being weak of the flesh. That's the way that you're going to win at this. So what are the benefits? Well, the benefits are you become more masculine. You become more of a man. You become a better person. You become cleaner minded, right? You don't have all of these thoughts. Maybe you go through your day and you're trying to focus on work, but you just can't because you just have thoughts of like sex and hot women and all this stuff, okay? That is making you worse at your job. That is making you perform a lot lower than you possibly can. So how are you your best version of yourself, which is all the ascended male means? How are you the best version of yourself if you're just constantly thinking about other stuff besides the thing that you're supposed to be doing, besides the thing that you're supposed to be focused on? You aren't the best version of yourself, and that's why you have to get rid of all of the pornography and the masturbation, and you have to start doing semen retention. That is why. That is a necessary component to being the best version of yourself, in my opinion. And so we go to number 2 thing, okay? Number 2 thing besides semen retention, all right? Got it right here. And that is getting sun, okay? Yes, the sun up there, getting sun. Getting sun as in tanning, right? Full body, if possible. Shirt off at the very minimum. You have to be getting sun. See, I've been getting sun, I've been getting tan, I've been getting jacked. Getting jacked, the part that a lot of people miss. There's a reason why tan and jacked like go together. You always hear that, right? Getting tan and jacked. There's a reason why those things go together, and it's because the sun actually supercharges you, increases your testosterone naturally, and makes you more tan and jacked. Like, it doesn't just make you more tan, it actually makes you more muscular, more, it increases your testosterone. Like, just try it for one day. Like, you'll probably wake up like ready to go, supercharged, biggest boner you've ever had. And that is how you know that stuff works, right? So it's through trial and error, right? Which is real science, not this fake science that they push on us, right? The fake science says that if you get sun, you will get cancer. It says you have to put lotions with mercury and heavy metals in it to protect yourself from the sun. And if you don't, you will get cancer. That is 100% horse crap, okay? There's a reason, I don't doubt this for a second, that there is a reason why they made it, they being the elites, made it so that everyone in the world would think that it's bad to get sun, that will literally kill you, and that they need to buy some lotion with heavy metals in it to protect themselves from this bad thing, which makes them money, right? So I don't doubt for a second that that was on purpose, because when you actually do get sun, it actually makes you more powerful. It makes you stronger. It makes you healthier. It makes you feel better inside and out. You look better. You feel better. You create. I'll go into some science. You create what's called easy water, exclusionary zone water, which is basically like a fourth state of water, right? You have liquid, solid, gas, but you also have this easy water state, which is basically kind of like a gel. It's almost like Jello, right? It's not quite solid. It's not quite liquid. It's not gas. It is easy water. You become gel-like. You become gooey. You become gooey inside, like honey. And so when you do that, when your muscles, when your fascia, when everything inside of your body, inside of your skin becomes gooey, that's when you are the most healthy. Okay? That's when you're the strongest. That's when you're the healthiest. That's when you can move the best. And so getting sun is a necessary component of that. You need the sun to create this easy water state. And so without the sun, you're not going to be able to do that. You might be able to do that with some red light, but red light is just it's just a weaker form of what we can naturally get with the sun. Okay, that's what red light is. So you can buy all the red light devices in the world. It's not going to compare to you getting the sun. Now, you have to find ways to be able to get the sun, right? I don't know your living situation. I used to live in an apartment, and what I would do to get sun is I would go out on the roof. We had a rooftop, right? We had a rooftop garage. I was very fortunate, and I could go up there, walk around with my shirt off every single day, and that's how I got sun. Another apartment complex I lived in, there was a park nearby, right? I could go out there, walk with my shirt off, get some sun. I would even go into the woods. This is how far I took it. I would go into the woods. This is a public park, but a very wooded area. And, I wouldn't, don't try this at home, right? But I would go naked. I would get sun. I would get sun for naked sunbathing for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever I could get, right? Don't try this at home, right? But you have to find ways to get as much sun exposure as you can. Full body is the best. And so the more you expose your full body, the more melanin you can produce, and the more healthy you can get. Not only the more healthy you can get, the more energy you can get, right? The better feeling you can get. All that depression, anxiety will go away. It will just literally disappear, okay? And so sun, number 2 habit of the ascended male. And that's for health. That's for, your mind state. That's for everything, right? Makes everything better. So number 3 habit here, okay? Number 3 habit is prayer, okay? And I will expand on that because prayer means different things for different people. From the Christian sense, Christians know about prayer. That's part of the religion. Muslims know about prayer. That's part of the religion, okay? Prayer is let's just take it let's learn from religion, right? We don't have to become, if you're not religious or you have a different religion, let's just look at things objectively, and let's just take what is positive about what is going on within these religions with prayer, and let's just do that regardless of who you are, right? Prayer is using your words to speak to a higher power and to ask for certain things, asking for your protection, asking for the betterment of your family, right? Typically, it is non-selfish in nature, prayer. You pray for other people. You don't necessarily pray for yourself and everything that you can get, right? There, like, you can, right? But just think about, not being selfish, right? Think about, like Jesus, right? Not selfish. Jesus, right? What would he like? He's thinking about other people. And so if you want to be more like Jesus, think about other people, right? You can still, pray for yourself in certain cases, but really you should focus on being the best man that you can possibly be, controlling all the controllables, which, you can control your own behavior. So anything that you would want for yourself, you should pretty much be able to get on your own. And so because of that, you don't really need to pray for like things that you want, right? You should be praying for other people, because at the end of the day, everything that you want in your life is on the other end of helping people. Helping other people get what they want, you will get what you want in return. And so if you think about it like that, you really should be, your prayer should be reserved for other people. And so praying, I pray, and I pray to have my family healthy, happy, and strong, right? Basic prayer right there, right? Prayer also comes in the form of just like, let's generalize it even further. Let's just talk about speaking what you want out loud. Speaking what you want out loud. I think that's a better, way to encapsulate this idea of prayer that I'm just using the label, but what I'm really talking about is speaking what you want out loud. Okay? And I wish there was one single word that I could label that as, but since I can't, that's why I'm using the word prayer. Speaking what you want out loud, what you want to do, like affirmations. Affirmations is not necessarily prayer in that traditional sense, but it is speaking what you want out loud if you're doing it right. The way to do affirmations is to is number one, to say it, right? To like say it verbally out loud, but also to feel it. You have to feel it, and you have to see it. You have to see and feel what you're saying. And if you're only saying it and you're doing it in like a monotone way, you're doing it like you sound like you're in a horrible state, that's not really doing anything, okay? Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes perfect. So you just saying a bunch of words that you don't feel anything about, and you're not visualizing anything, and you're just like in the worst state possible, that's not really doing anything, okay? If anything, that might be hurting you because, you're not really like doing perfect practice. So you have to if you're not going to say it like you mean it, don't say it at all, okay? Just wait. Try to get your state up. Go exercise. When you've exercised, you're in a better state. Meditate. After you meditate, you're in a better state. And then when you are in those peak moments, which the peak moments will be first thing in the morning when you wake up and right before bed. Those are the peak moments that you can use prayer and use words to your advantage, because it's like the border between the awake state and the sleeping state. And that means that the closer you are to the sleeping state, the more you would be able to access your subconscious mind, which basically is the part of your mind that programs you for success, right? What programs you for success or failure is in the subconscious mind. That's why you can, in your conscious mind, want certain things all you want, but you still fail, or, no matter what, you will win, because you program your subconscious mind either properly or poorly. And so first thing in the morning, right before bed, those are the times to program your subconscious mind for success. And so you do that through speaking what you want and speaking words. And you do that through giving, right? Giving positive energy to other people through a traditional form of prayer. Praying for the health and for the prosperity of other people who you care about, who you believe in. And so all this stuff helps. And those are the top 3 traits, the top 3 habits of the ascended male. I want you to think about right now, which ones are you going to incorporate? Which ones have you been missing up until this point? I'm letting you know from my personal experience, these are the basic foundational habits that have led me to where I'm at now, right? You see me posting every single day. You see me being consistent when 99% of the world can't be consistent. I think that's a success in itself. I may not have all of the subscribers yet. I may not have, millions of views yet, but there's one thing that is undeniable proof of my success, which is why you have to do this, which is why I do this. Posting every single day. Posting every single day is undeniable proof. You go back, you look at the dates. You look, okay, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. Okay, video. Every single day, this guy's consistent. It's undeniable proof. Undeniable proof that I am a winner. Undeniable proof that I am winning. Because you can look at the dates, you can look at the videos. No one can deny that I'm posting every single day. And just because you post every single day doesn't mean you're automatically going to win. No, that just gets you in the game. Now you have to perform still. But most of you aren't even in the game yet. And so you have to start with what you can control. Control the controllables. And one of the controllables is, are you consistent? And so if you want to be consistent, you just have to be consistent. But if you can add these 3 habits on top of that, the semen retention, getting sun every single day, or as much as possible, multiple times a week. And then prayer, adding prayer, saying what you want out loud. First thing in the morning, last before bed. You do that every single day. You add that with consistent content creation. You've now created an ecosystem for your success. It's not just about doing one habit and becoming successful from one habit. You have to have multiple habits, but those multiple habits all feed into each other. So it's not, if I didn't do the semen retention and I didn't get sun and I wasn't doing prayer, then I would probably have a lot harder time being consistent with my content creation. So you see how all these habits feed into each other. If I'm lacking in one area, I'm going to be lacking in other areas. And therefore, I probably wouldn't be able to be as successful as I am in all the areas. So think about it from an ecosystem perspective. Start building your ecosystem for success and become an ascended male.